at each other's throats, and as long as Nerf could keep that ship steady, Lazarus should be unable to usurp them.
So, one thing we want to keep our eye on is we did see some teams mix up their landing spots last game. We're going to see if that is what they are going to stick with for the rest of the day, or if it was a, hey, let's try this, see what happens. You know, obviously we have seen ULTM kind of struggle as they have kind of lost the 50-50 3 times now. So I would imagine that they really want to try and find a spot that is not going to be contested and keep themselves safe. Saucy is really far away from the team right now. If you look at the map in Countdown, there's a team right by, but honestly, I'm a little surprised that Saucy is willing to risk being that far away from the team, because it is a good quarter of the map to get over to Fragment from there.
Doing as he likes for the moment. We'll see how it ends up working out for them, as I Love Emo Girls certainly had not a bad showing given their landing spot just last game. They ended up surviving for, I would say, a little bit too short, but ultimately did have some really good plays in the center there and got sandwiched in a little bit of an unlucky way by, you guessed it, Team Unlucky and company, with now Droolers inside of a Fragment making their way along the loop path. They had surprised us and amazed us even with their Seer play in games 1 and 2, but had a pretty silent games 3 and 4. So I want to see what they can get up to this time around. It is going to be all about that ring, though. And in this particular case, ring is going to go a little bit more south than anything, including a large portion of Lava Siphon and just the tippity top of launch site, where Trippin should be comfortable holding up.
Absolutely, and they should be able to just, you know, loot up pretty nicely here. You can see they've gotten some pretty good drops on those shields, and we'll be feeling fine. Should not have to move very much at all, as long as they can get exactly what they want here. Tapstrafers, another team that we have not seen really much from today, have been landing in Geyser pretty consistently, and have not really been able to turn that into too much as of yet. We'll see if maybe this can be their game.
Yeah, they had a very weird day just yesterday, where Tapstrafers had shown up in a few final rings, but did really struggle to make a big oomph, have a big impression. And it feels like that sort of followed them into today, with even less consistency in the late game. It may just be a lack of synergy, it may be the heightened competition, but something has been keeping them a little bit further back than usual. Oh man, it's the perfect bow crate. If only Blood were here, man.
Yeah, I feel like Arsenic was thinking about it.
Yeah,
Just standing there looking at it like, nah, I'll leave this for somebody else.
You just want the dead eyes, and then you're set. You replace this this garbage, whatever they had, heavy ammo right next door. I don't know. It might have been a golden egg. Who cares? It's just anything but the bow is trash. So why even bother? This is not the opinion of EA, by the way. Even though we cashed the game, this is simply one man's small opinion. Bow is cool.
I just want to see April Fool's Apex Legends. We get nothing but bows. Everybody, guns have been outlawed in the Apex Legends world, and so
that'd be fun. I really want to see swords. Bows. You can either get a bow that is, you know, your regular bow, or your sword that's a one-hit kill. And everybody just runs around chasing each other. That's our limited time game mode. That'd actually be pretty cool.
Somebody has played Team Fortress 2.
Oh yeah, you know I have. Well, in the meantime, we're having a little bit of excitement, imagining, theory crafting what Apex can hold for us. It holds riches for Splash right now. They ended up taking out Cyber pretty darn early on. Round 1 just now starting to close, and so Illuminate will find themselves down a member. Not too much that they can do about it either. The best choice that they have is to continue that rotation, because they are not too well set up in the shields and the heals department, and definitely not in the numbers department. They do have to worry, though, about running into a squad around here.
Yeah, staging has been looted already, so not going to be something that they really want to stick around with. I do believe that was actually Splash that took it, so a little bit of a circle going on. As now we do check back in with Trippin, who are keeping an eye out for teams, but like we kind of expected here, just going to be them hanging out, looking for people coming in onto their territory and see what happens. Nerf, we've seen what happens when the ring closes in onto Lava Site here. This is exactly what they want, right? Because it is just they set up this caustic, they have this Gibraltar for the extra defensiveness here, and they could just hang out in their building and build up these shields as much as they want.
Yeah, big fan of the way that they've set themselves up in the center as well. Last time we went Lava Siphon, they took the north side, which, while good, ultimately left them a little bit lacking when it came to information in the later stages. This way, they at least know that they can get the read on Zone 3 as soon as the next couple ones close. And as long as they are inside of the ring, they'll certainly be able to farm that beacon for the extra little bit of information, keep their eyes on squads that are going to be at high risk of being pushed out by future zones. So, Nerf should be able to put themselves in a strong endgame position. Them and Trippin are positions that I really like, because over by launch site, you've got quite the spot as well. However, Team Unlucky, one of the squads that we've been keeping our eyes on, seem to be in a little bit weaker of a position this time around, having already lost Prodigy Aces.
Yeah, Droolers are keeping some pressure up here and are pretty healthy here, so they should be able to handle things. Yeah, you can see Splash. They are not really equipped to take this fight. They only have one person with better than white shields against 2 purples and a blue. So I think Splash are recognizing they need to just get out of here very fast and make sure that they do not die yet, because it is not a fun situation to be in right now, as they are going to try and hold this building, I think, for now, and see if they can just wait things out, see if their opponents leave, and then make a rotation off of that.
They've got the opportunity to farm up the shields as well. Only 18 damage away is Blight, now full sending it onto the ground, as he sees that they're not the only 2 squads involved in this, and with a nice bit of damage, Splash could get themselves nice evos, fire up the momentum that they have not yet gotten in this game. However, Blight's being chunked through from the side, and that just opens it up for to be taken down. Splash now down to just the 1 member. Phoenix is trying to secure whatever KP he can, but cannot quite do it. Ultimately ends up falling as Droolers came in to pick up the kills, and now may just be taken down themselves. ULTM end up coming in. Don't have that Arc Star explode inside, instead popping out with poise, but it's up to Pulse now to change things around with the PK, cancels the heal, and ends up signing the Death Ward to the Seer, you would think, but oh my lord, we saw so many misses there. The things were actually looking pretty iffy.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, ULTM are able to clean that one up. Just a solid third party to come in there and do fine. So now we are actually seeing Valk ults being used to get into Fragment this time around. This is a little bit late and coming in very low on health. If this should be pinged out, and hopefully this means that this team will recognize, hey, we have an opportunity to push here. Although Internet Gaming are just going to have an opportunity to heal up, and not much going to be done with it just yet.
They end up dealing about 70-ish damage there as well, so Audiovant looking really good. However, Weta does get chunked out. This is the squad we saw going up against Unlucky in the kill feed earlier, and it seems like they were able to, at the very least, escape with their lives. 17 squads left, though, and I do believe that Unlucky should still be in. We'll get the chance to check in with that a little bit later on. For right now, it's a bit of a stalemate inside of Fragment, and even with the Arc Stars sailing right past, ULTM have no reason to push this, have no at least initial crack to go off, and have to reevaluate their next choices. Already we're getting a second and even third party coming in before cracks, before downs. This is just straight up aggression.
Yeah, and it's pushing into an edge of a ring here, so it is really just aggressive here. These teams are not looking to try and grab ring early or try and gain a better position. They want to get kills, and they want to get them fast.
So confused. Cyber got a knock with the got a kill with the nade, and yet they're not pushing in. Illuminate want to try and take this high ground back again, it seems, perhaps smelling out that there could be another squad coming in behind them, but it's completely empty. So this movement is largely going to be for next ring, not wanting to stick around and put themselves in a tough situation when it comes to later on. Only 53 seconds left, and supposedly quite a long way to go, as this has pulled or continued to pull a little bit further south, and you can see just the edges of green in the upper left of your screen as Tap Strafers are going to have to make their moves down in towards ring as well, we can only suspect.
Yeah, Tap Strafers, another team that has not been able to get much done here and is not looking too great this time around either. Still sitting on all blues. And we'll just be holding this house for now, as they will be able to just be safe. Remember, things are closing in on the lava siphon area, so tap strafers are pretty okay hanging around here. But they do want to try and get at least a little bit of better loot for themselves, because it's not looking too great for them now if they get into a full-on fight.
Sriracha watching this door, though, is really interesting, especially because while they do have armor swaps, they are technically sandwiched right now with the data that we had earlier from Nerf being at their back in the center of a lava siphon. Transatlantic down in the south do have eyes on Trippin as well, even further south off in launch site. And if a little bit of shenanigans starts to go out there, I wouldn't mind Transatlantic taking matters into their own hands. For right now, their biggest place has to be controlling, and you guessed it, that southwestern side. As people can come in from the train tracks, try and play a few of the carts, and that is really going to be a big determinant of success, is whether Transatlantic can find the kills as they move past.
Absolutely, as we do check in Survive Noodles, another team hanging out in this building that we have seen teams kind of struggle because of the pressure from Nerf. They're probably feeling comfortable to just keep this aggression on to teams, but now Team Unlucky now sitting really far outside the ring. This is only round 2 closing, so not going to do the most damage, but it is not fun to hang out here for too long.
Seem like they're planning on going back to the crafter instead, just hustling and bustling, getting inside the ring. We did say we'd check in on them later, and it seems like for right now, they are okay. If, like you said, suffering a little bit. They will get that extra bit of data for their trouble, though, and honestly, I don't mind it if they're going to be able to use this information properly. While they are far outside the ring, they've got that Valkyrie to reposition, and we at the very least know that this circle is ending almost identically to the way that it did before. But this time, instead of Nerf being in the north, it's Lazarus that hold that position and have the much simpler rotation over towards the train tracks.
Yeah, but you could also see that Nerf don't have anybody currently in that open area just to their southeast. So they don't have the worst rotation either. It just really depends on if teams are paying attention to that and can catch Nerf as they're going around. Like you said, Lazarus does have the easier rotation, but Nerf's shouldn't be too bad. It's just very variable and dependent on other teams.
I want Nerf to Valkyrie. I want them to straight up just go to the other side of the bridge right now, because there is absolutely nobody there. I know that it doesn't net them the KP, which is something that Nerf is better at estimating than I am, but with the way that this is playing out, any squad that takes the other side of the bridge gets themselves almost guaranteed placement, as there will be so many teams leaving Lava Siphon that will need to feed into you. Illuminate one of the squads, not this bridge, the other one, by the way, the one off towards the eastern side, are going to have one of those difficult times having to push past tap strafers who hold Grandma's house currently, but also all the squads that are grouped up inside the small macaroni buildings, of which we already know there are at least 3.
And tap strafers now pushing in with this Gibby Dome. Won't have it for a sec, but can hide in this building for protection from the ult.
Getting inside the bridge right now. Eva does a little bit of damage, but it's really just tickling at this point as tap strafers try and make their way in. Finally, those tickles turn to something a little bit more uncomfortable as flesh gets found. Tap strafers whip out the close range weaponry and just start chewing through Illuminate, as Blake has absolute beams attached to this Volt. Matt should be able to dodge the Arc Star and does so successfully, just barely, I might add. And in the kill feed, we've got Survive Noodles doing pretty well at the same time. Taken some members out. I believe it's UTLM that have lost. No, UTLM already gone. I've lost several members. All very evidently. The story at the moment is about Illuminate down on this low ground.
Yeah, which is not the best position to be, but it's better than being stuck up on that bridge right now and trying to fight for your life. Lazarus still just hanging out here, making the same kind of poke that we saw from Nerf in this same position here. We're gonna see if these teams are gonna start making similar rotations this time around, or if we're gonna see things mix up.
Tap strafers sitting in here evaluating their options. I think it reflects largely the pace of the lobby, because if we take a look at it, 15 teams still up tells a very big story. This fifth game has been fraught with teams hedging their bets, not taking the aggressive plays, sitting back and waiting because of how much it matters. If you are in the middle, this is your one chance to really get up towards the top end of the standings. And for a team like Survive Noodles, it might be your one chance to even come out with a win today, because you want to be able to take it against teams that are this strong. Now, though, that we get a chance to look at it, Unlucky are the ones that have taken, perhaps not the win, but one of the advised places that we talked about earlier, securing themselves quite a few placement points just by being the only squad on this side of the river.
Absolutely, and Illegal Movement also not in the worst position here, just in terms of where the ring is going to go. It's not a fun spot to be in terms of, you know, height differential, but they do not need to move very far to get into these rings. And you know, as you said, some of these teams looking to feel okay going into this tag. Also, as we check back in with them, still not being able to get a lot of damage for these shields, so they want to try and get some poke down as quickly as possible, as Nerf are going to quickly realize the position they wanted is taken.
Now moving over towards Team Unlucky, they may just have to play underneath the bridge. This is a little bit too, I want to say it's quite a bit actually, but a little bit too late. Playing the underside of the bridge. Nerf, oh my lord, I was going to say should be safe, but now getting knocked. They may be full sent on. I'm curious whether Team Unlucky actually feel like that's the move, whether they're going to play this one a little bit more safely. A very nice frag does connect though. This might just be it. Unlucky do have to give up their power spot to get these kills, or at least so I thought.
Yeah,
instead, Caselos finds an off angle with the flatline and ends up completely wiping Nerf without Unlucky having given up their spot.
Yeah, and they waited too long on that Valk ult there, and you saw the price they paid for it. They had two positions they thought they could get, and both of them were already taken. This Team Unlucky cleaned that one up. Everybody trying to get into this ring now. Tag, actually, Kleber might be in a bad spot here. Stuck right on the side of the ring.
Absolutely in a terrible spot. He is dead, moreover, and with SoBoy, the last member of Tag left, it's up to Lazarus to start farming this, but they ended up getting flanked by one lone member. Lane poked his head up a little too far, and now Dank might just take it off. As he pokes his head over the edge, though, he almost gets his bitten clean. Lazarus now able to find at least some semblance of safety and plenty of loot using this Loba. They are farming the entirety of the lobby as everyone forced to leave Lava Siphon has walked right into their waiting arms.
Absolutely, Lazarus made the good rotation now, and they are a little low on health. Like you said, Team Unlucky also doing great for themselves right now. Lazarus is looking to try and pull this one out, but they need to make another rotation pretty quickly here. Now, they do have a lot of loot to pick through if they want to, but they've got to be able to do it quick because this is still a fairly open area. Yeah, they're just going to go back for this cover, realize they've got another team to fight here. Lazarus is going to be basically just fighting until the end of the game here, I believe.
Seems like it. We've only got 4 squads left, though, and inside of this ring, it seems like we've got just a little bit of breathing room. ULTM, it was them earlier, and it ended up maybe not being able to recover fully, but ultimately still getting up to red shields and being in the top 4. I'm willing to call a win. Question is, how far can they take this, especially with Lazarus right next door, and Pulse getting a little bit cheeky. They ultimately end up going down. Their nade's not going to do quite enough, though, and even the dome has to be expended. Lazarus know that there is a lot of pressure towards this side of the map, but they cannot forget about Unlucky.
Exactly, that's what's keeping them from pushing in on this. Lazarus, they want to take that. They know they got the crack and the Gibby Dome, but it is really tough to make that call because if they go in, there are a couple of other teams that are going to hear that and go in. Unlucky, they've moved to underneath the bridge for now. And they do have a bead on another team, so there's 2 separate fights going on right now as these teams are starting to interweave into each other.
hit from the back, however, Unlucky have to give up even more space, and even with the damage that they've been able to find right now, I'm not sure how much they'll actually be able to capitalize, because Lazarus are playing this extremely safe, waiting for the kills to go down. Dank could pop his head in and just find kills, but instead, at arm's length, Unlucky are just managing to clean up again and again, much like they did with Nerf earlier. They've managed to find the majority of illegal movement and have almost moved us down to 3 squads. Just one member left, and oh, he's gonna get spotted. Sawzik goes down. We're down to the top 3 squads, and with Team Unlucky now realizing they've got some at their back. Lazarus from the high ground should be able to pull a Nerf out like Nerf did earlier, I suppose is the best way of putting that, and control the height up until the very last minutes. I love the way that they are playing this bridge, and I love the way that Unlucky aren't letting themselves get distracted by the duo.
Absolutely, that's kind of the big needle that they need to worry about poking on them, because it is only 2 people, but if these 2 squads that are full go at it, there is the small opportunity. Now the Valkot's gonna come through, final round starts closing. This is about to close.
This is almost perfect timing for Unlucky to try and take advantage of the noise caused by this Valkyrie ult. The defensive bombardment will keep them at bay, and I love the move because Lazarus now need to turn their attention onto the duo. We talked about this earlier, but it is so annoying to deal with, especially knowing that they can go ahead and just take the game, much like you did earlier. Lazarus managed their angles in such a way that they move off to the north, giving Team Unlucky the opportunity to access the high ground, but it is in order to balance out their priorities. Let this other team take a little bit more space and hopefully attract the attention of a squad like Unlucky, because really it is just these 2 on opposite ends of the bridge that the game is really going to come down to.
Yeah, and there is just, you know, they are trying their best to just be as much of a distraction as possible here as Team Unlucky. They want to go for the kills, but Lazarus isn't going to let them get away with it for free.
Oh my god, this flank is deadly! Dank already finds Flesh and ends up full sending it on this Loba. You knew he was gonna do it, but he ends up costing himself his life, and now potentially his squad. The game is Unlucky. Take that 3v3.